to today's spooky episode. We're in the VIP lounge. I'm Nina.
And I'm Marcus.
And this is Pillow Talk. So today, I kind of wanted to bring back some storytelling aspect from last week's video. And today, it's actually thunderstorming. So what better night to have a scary story episode than on a dark, stormy night? Let's start off with some short ones. So we're reading these from Reddit, but I also did some fact checking. So it is as true as what I can find on the internet. There's a girl who lives 3 hours away from me in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Together with her boyfriend, they murdered her mother, father, and 3-year-old little brother. She was released from juvie a couple years ago and now goes to the same university as me. And she was 12 years old when she did it.
Scary.
My scary stories are more like true crime with people because I find that scarier than paranormal. So
none of mine
FYI.
are true, so.
Oh, they're not true?
Yeah. Well, like mine are just 2-sentence horror stories.
Oh, okay, so we can alternate. It's scarier when it's true.
That's for people who don't have an imagination.
What? Oh my gosh, it's so scary when it's true because what you imagine is now reality.
Okay, so here's mine. 2-sentence horror stories. Again, I don't claim any of these are real.
Okay.
The title of it is, she held her daughter's charming little drawing and asked, "So you think our new baby is going to be a boy?" "No, mummy. The baby is blue because she's dead," she replied with a smile.
Oh my god. That's so dark.
Exactly. So my favorite thing about the 2-sentence stories is that there's only so many words that you can put into 2 sentences. And when they actually become like chilling or scary, you know that there's actually some thought that they put into it. But then also, again, these are just like not real stories. But for me, I think it goes to show the creativity that the author has to put to make some of these scary.
So whenever I hear people write scary stories like that, I always think in the back of my head, how did you write that?
Oh no, there's some real messed up ones that I didn't really include in here, but yeah, I agree. When I see some of those, I do question a little bit about what goes into somebody's head.
Somebody's humanity.
Yeah.
Like what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. I like this dynamic. You got some fictional and then we got some true crime. So the next one is, during World War II, an American airplane crashed near the Japanese island of Chichijima. There were 9 servicemen on board. 1 was rescued by an American submarine. The other 8 were taken in by the Japanese. I don't want to go into all the details. Through some time and events, the Japanese ended up eating the servicemen, but that's not the weirdest part. One of the servicemen who was rescued was a 20-year-old George Bush.
Really?
Yes.
That's a real thing?
Yes.
Wow.
I fact-checked this, and that's crazy. He was a pilot. During this flight or whatever, the airplane crashed and there were 8 people and 5 of them were eaten.
Well, to be honest, when you think about some of the actual presidencies that we've had, people who go into public service or become politicians and stuff like that, a lot of them actually fought into wars.
Yeah.
Before when there were actual wars to be fought.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that did happen, but I don't know. No wonder why they're racist.
I know. I literally saw this and I was like, this was our future president. He was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Forget, whatever biases you might have about Bush as president. Yeah. But imagine someone like that going through a scenario when they're 20.
Yeah.
If you want to look more into this story, you just have to Google the Chichijima incident.
Interesting. I don't know. History's written by the successors.
It's true, but...
The title of this next one is, as the knocking from outside became louder and louder, it became harder to ignore. After all, who could possibly knock on a submarine this deep in the water?
I hate the deep sea things.
Do you?
Yes, it's so... as scientists, they know more about space than they know about the oceans on Earth.
Yeah, imagine if you start hearing knocking down there. Who could it be?
That's the equivalent of moving into your house and never going to the basement and not knowing what's in the basement.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so scary.
That is true. Okay, no, that's not the same.
You're similar. Living on this planet.
That's true, but I see what you mean. But that's
metaphor.
not the same because you can actually visit your basement. You can't just visit the ocean floor.
I guess. But
Yeah.
it's just to draw like a metaphor.
Yeah,
So
I gotcha.
this one is a little scary and there's a trigger warning. So
CW.
skip through this if you don't want to hear the story, but I will include a trigger warning for the future stories. So the subreddit I'm looking at is what are true scary stories? What is a scary true crime story? And somebody commented, hands down, the East Area rapist. Imagine this man who stalks around the neighborhoods at night, peering into windows, systematically narrowing down his victims. He then decides that it's you. He calls your phone, just breathing and making no noise. He creeps around in the dark, waiting until you're alone. And then he breaks into your house when you're not home, preps the house. He unlocks the locked window, or he leaves a garage door ajar. And when you get home, he knows your routine. He sneaks in, wakes up in your bed, binds you, rapes, or kills you, then pilfers through your house and leaves. He did this to dozens of women before he actually ever killed anyone, and then he began to kill. He had over 50 victims, at least 13 murder victims that we know of. He was likely behind the ransacking of dozens of homes, and to this day, his identity is a complete mystery. And this was posted 2 years ago.
Spooky. Let's talk about that one.
I forgot one last piece. Decades later, he was actually convicted in his 70s. So he lived his whole life without actually getting caught. And then when he's about to literally die, he gets caught.
Unpopular opinion. Is justice served when you catch them at their not prime?
No, and they need to be caught.
So what in your opinion do you think would bring this man to justice?
I think it's
It's tough.
Closure for the families that have been affected. Obviously, I would want to know.
So, yeah, knowing is one thing, but catching a man when he's already committed at these like 40 plus years in the making, and then just being like, oh yeah, we finally caught him. He's 70 years old now. That doesn't bring me peace.
Oh, it would bring me peace.
It wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
Okay,
I'd be like, yes, this is the guy that did it, and now he's behind bars.
Yeah, but for what, like 20 more years of his life?
For the rest of his life? Yeah, you don't get to enjoy the rest of your life.
I mean, I agree with that, but the fact that he was able to live 70 years doing whatever he wanted to.
But I would definitely not let him live the rest of his life.
No, of course, I agree with that. But I just don't think that there's I think that's a lose-lose. So the next one that I have, and I like these on Reddit because they have this spoiler tag on them. The title is, "No one listened when I proclaimed my innocence, insisting that I would never hurt my baby. And I didn't know how he had ended up with so many broken bones." Spoiler. "After his death, they determined that it was due to a genetic condition, and my lawyer thinks that if we can just convince the judge to hear my appeal, then I might be able to get out of prison eventually."
Oh my goodness gracious. That is crazy.
Interesting, huh?
That is so crazy.
Crazy, huh?
Okay, so the next one, it's a little creepy, and this comment says, "Part of this is well documented and it is a little sketchy, but here's a TLDR of Danny LaPlante. A pregnant woman and her children were found murdered. The suspect is a creepy high school student who lived in the neighborhood. Sure enough, they track him down and it goes to trial with very gruesome details. They come to find out that this is not his first offense. He had disappeared before when he was 15, and when he was discovered, according to this story, he was living and hiding in the walls of a girl's family he had been stalking. There are some freaky details, including his masturbation habits while he was in the house, and here are some supposed details across some sources." So this excerpt says, and I'm going to skim it, "The movie finished, the girls went off to change for bed. At the same time, the dad came home. The youngest was 8 or so, and in her bedroom, she opened her closet and found Danny LaPlante standing there with a hatchet. He was dressed in his dead mother's clothes and makeup smeared all over his face. He told her to be quiet and tied her up. He eventually tied up the whole family in the bedroom. He told them he was going to kill them and he'd be right back and that they better start praying. The guess is that he went to go ransack the valuables. Thankfully, the youngest was able to wiggle free. She jumped out of the neighbor's house, who called the cops before coming back with a gun to free the family. He freed the dad and the daughters, but didn't see LaPlante. Cops came and couldn't find him. They searched the house and they had found out that he snuck in a hole that he had made behind the family's washer. and he was just living in the walls. And when they went to go look at some of the rooms, he had pennies that were glued to the ceiling, writings on the wall. Some of the girls' clothes, the furniture, and everything had been in the walls, and they were jacked off on. They searched the house, and that's what they found.
Oh. Wait, so I'm confused about the pennies thing. What was he doing with that?
He was taking pennies and gluing them to the ceiling.
And this whole time they didn't realize.
It was like in in the walls. There's like space in between the walls. Yeah. He was gluing them up to the ceiling there.
Oh, in there. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was just throughout the house.
No.
Okay, interesting.
But it was
I don't know. Another hot take that I have is that the creepy part isn't even that, in my opinion, isn't even that he masturbated to them behind the walls. The creepier part for me is that you had somebody living in your wall.
Oh, I mean, that's absolutely creepy.
Because in my opinion, the whole like weird sexual fetish thing comes with that to me seems almost more normal in this whole situation than the part where this creepo guy decided to live in somebody's wall.
No, I mean, that's definitely creepy, but to some, I guess, extent, he was obsessed with the 8-year-old.
Yeah. No, I get that.
He was taking her stuff.
Yeah, I get that. but that's what I'm saying is, I feel like that's almost more normal behavior because you know of more pedophiles in the world. That's even like terrible to say, right?
Yeah.
But you know of more pedophiles in the world than somebody who's living in your wall. Like that's creepy.
Yeah.
You know, like I could not imagine living at home knowing that.
Like,
right?
I was reading this and thinking about, you know, when kids say, "Mom, Dad, I hear monsters."
Oh, yeah.
As a parent, I would feel horrible that maybe my kid said something and
it was true.
And
This next one's also a little creepy.
Okay.
Pretty good one though. Another one with a spoiler. So the title of it reads, "I was always pleased with the way that my electricity bill was always low despite the ceiling fan being always on. However, that changed the night I noticed a figure climb up to the top of the cupboard and blow on the fan to spin it." Yeah. It's a good one, huh?
Oh my god.
That's a good one,
That is so creepy.
Yeah.
At first I thought you were going to say you found like a figure behind the vent blowing air out of the vent.
Oh, I mean, that would equally be just as creepy, but you would never see that.
I know.
Yeah.
But how creepy would it be if you just looked in the vent and you saw eyes?
That would be creepy.
One last one and then a super short one after.
So you have two.
Yeah. But the last one is like not even really a story.
Okay.
The last one is an unsolved mystery in Kansas called the Kansas College Rapist. In March of 2009, it was announced that in the previous 9 years, 13 cases of sexual assault have been occurring in Manhattan, Kansas, the location of Kansas State University, and Lawrence, Kansas, the location of University of Kansas. 8 were in Manhattan and 5 were in Lawrence. And there is like a really creepy pattern that happens with this rapist. So essentially what he does is that he only goes to off-campus residences from the hours of 2 to 4:30 a.m. That is consistent across all 13 cases. He attacked all the victims while they were asleep, and he only attacked the victims during school breaks. And the creepy part is that he would take one school break to go to Manhattan, the next school break to go to Lawrence, and would alternate between the two schools.
Interesting.
And obviously, I think Manhattan's like here, Lawrence is here. I think Topeka is like in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Some people in the comments are saying it's really weird how Topeka's here, Emporia's here, and he only chooses to go between the two schools, despite them being about, it's like a 2-3 hour commute.
That's weird.
And to this day, he is still unidentified. But I saw the police sketch that they released, and it is creepy.
Yeah, creepy.
Creepy.
Will they ever catch him?
I don't know. So the sketch was released in 2020, I want to say, or 2018. And they said that he would have been somewhere in his 40s.
My next one, the title is, "I swore on the soul of my daughter that I didn't commit the murder. When evidence proved that I lied, they hanged her beside me just as I wanted."
Oh my God. That is so
I
creepy.
got some good ones, huh?
This is a story that could be true or not true. There once was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died at the end. That's the last story.
Okay, SpongeBob. So the title of this last one is, I couldn't bear seeing my husband with another woman. So I decided to remove my twin sister who was conjoined to me at the hip using a butcher knife while she screamed and begged for me to stop.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Some of y'all are some sick people out there.
Yeah, that is a little graphic.
Although I'm impressed that people can come up with these stories.
Yeah. That is
Pretty good, nah?
That is a little graphic. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right, what do you think?
That was okay. A little spooky.
A little spooky. I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite story?
Probably the one with the kid living in the wall. That was pretty creepy.
That one's really gross.
Yeah.
The one that creeped me out the most was the electricity bill fan one.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Because I was just thinking to myself, I was like, oh, my electricity bill has been pretty low lately. Maybe the weather's just good.
Yeah.
No, there's just a man blowing on the fan like
a figure. A figure. Mm-hmm.
You know what's scarier than a figure? A man.
Barnacle. Oh, okay.
Okay.
You know what else is fun? A game.
Yes. Let's
play a game. Let's do a level 2.
We are moving on to our favorite thing to do at the end of our podcast, which is play a game. And if you've never seen us play these games before, where have you been? What small thing I do that tells you everything you need to know about me? That's a good one.
The way you walk.
The way I walk?
Yep.
The f*** does that mean?
Yep.
How do I walk?
I can tell your exact mood by the way that you walk.
Okay.
Yep.
So
you're either stomping around or you're happy go jolly.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
You have 2 moods.
Stomping or happy go jolly?
Yeah, happy go lucky.
Do you want to give me a demonstration?
No, I'm good. Oh, this is a good one. What did our worst argument teach you?
Not to cry. I'm just kidding.
What's 2 + 2?
Our worst argument? The one time we had a really bad argument, and it's probably the worst that I remember, was when we were still in school together, living in our first apartment. And I think I got so mad that I literally left the house and I slammed the door behind me. And I never do that. Mm-hmm. But it made you so mad. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
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 It made you so mad. And then we sat in the car of our apartment, and I think we argued until I cried. And to be honest, I wish I could tell you what I learned, but I don't remember learning anything besides crying.
That's fine. Did not learn anything from the worst argument we had.
But I think, okay, so if I were to really think about it, what it built up to from then to now, I think it was more of a wake-up call for me to identify what's the difference between a real life relationship versus an ideal of a relationship. So what people see in the movies or TV shows as what a perfect relationship will look like, when in actuality this might be you will have conflict with people in your life. But it was also important for me to realize and identify, is this an argument where both of us are physically safe or emotionally safe? Because I know some people will stay by and say, oh, this is just, I'm riding out the storm, it's totally fine. But yeah, it was more of a learning experience for me to understand that, yeah, this is an argument, but there's like a threshold where you can argue and you can still feel safe to argue. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because some people don't feel safe even disagreeing.
Oh yeah, that's true. I also feel like that was one of those arguments where you think back and you're like, yeah, it wasn't that deep.
Yeah, it wasn't that deep. But it felt like it. I was like,
well, I mean, yeah, when that's just like when you're in high school, everything felt like it was the world.
It felt like it because in my head, I thought that you were falling out of love with me.
Oh, and here we are 6 years later.
Do you still love me? Mm-hmm. Would you love me if I was a worm?
Especially if you was a barnacle.
Oh, even better.
Better.
Wait,
All
does
right.
that mean I'm ugly?
What?
Because the story is about an ugly barnacle
Oh, sorry.
that dies.
Oh, whoops. Next game.
Me or you? Which one of us is most likely to pee your pants?
You.
That is literally you.
I might
Literally.
shit myself, but I ain't gonna piss myself. That's you.
I have never pissed myself in front of you.
In front of me.
Or in general. In my 25 years of life.
Freudian slip.
By the way, today is my last day being 25. Woo!
Okay, fine. Agree to disagree. Next one.
Okay, agree to disagree. Like this. Okay. What is our most embarrassing moment together as a couple? Ooh. Think about this one.
When you went into a Mexican restaurant and you said polo.
Hey, that was embarrassing for you.
Yeah, it should have been embarrassing for you too.
It was embarrassing, but I
Yeah.
choose not to think about it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
They said as a couple, not for one person.
Well, it was embarrassing for both of us.
Our most embarrassing moment as a couple. Have we been on double dates where we were shook? I feel like
Shook by what?
shook by how bad it's going.
Double dates?
Yeah.
No, not that I would say as in the double date itself was bad or that the other couple was bad.
The other couple was bad. Like we were embarrassed for them.
No.
I swear we had one experience like that.
We had one where I felt bad for the waiting staff. Remember where we went for like with a group of people and everybody was not acting. Everybody was.
I don't want to
acting a
talk
full-
about that.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yep,
talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say that is our most embarrassing. I'm like, I cannot be.
Yeah, that's one of those where I was like, I don't know if I want to be associated with y'all type of deals.
Yeah, essentially what had happened is that we went on a group date. And
You could say that.
yeah, a group date, and the other people having the date they were getting along, but they were getting along too well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Match. If we could choose one of our friends to be a third roommate, whom would we choose?
Man, it is so nice to have our own place.
Yeah.
How about none of y'all?
None of them.
Respectfully, I love
Yeah.
all y'all,
I love our friends, but
no.
match. Who's a dog and who's a cat? Like the personality.
Ooh, think I'm a dog. I got that dog in me.
Do you want to have the dog in you? I think you're.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think you're a dog.
She said, "Do you want to have the dog with me?" Yeah, you are.
I don't mean.
I think you're a dog too.
You think?
Yeah, you give me golden retriever energy.
No. No. I give off such black cat energy.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No,
I'm
you don't.
such a bitch.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're more like a chihuahua.
No.
Chihuahua.
You're a chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
You're a chihuahua. Get away. Stop looking at me like that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me like that.
All right, next one.
Me or you? Who gets the middle seat? You.
Yeah, I just do it because I'm nice.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my god.
Okay, this one was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
If we Freaky Friday'd and switched bodies, what is the first thing we'd do? I would helicopter the shit out of myself.
Oh no.
I want to know what it's like when it moves.
I'm gonna go around just to mess with a bunch of guys.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you attract some weird dudes. But I also would push my limit because now
You would?
as a girl, yeah, I would see what type of, first of all, I would test your friends, and then the second part is I would just see like, you know, what's the limit of dudes that I could pull. Yep.
I would also go to the gym because I want to know what it feels like to squat as much as you do. As weird as that sounds, because I only know
that would
I only
be
know
interesting.
how much I can squat, and that's like enough
in
to
your
shock
body.
my body.
Yeah.
But I would also want to know what that feels like on you.
That is weird.
That would be really
It
weird.
is weird. Freaky Friday weird.
But I would also I would helicopter a lot. I want to know what that looks like. It's like this.
Don't go too fast, you'd be flying away.
It's like this.
Okay, chill out. Last one.
Okay. Who is the weirder one?
You. Don't even bullshit them. You. They could smell the weird kid energy coming from you. I bet you they would know.
Oh, okay. I'm curious to know what you think of this one. What is something that we do that no other couple in the world does?
No other couple in the world? Oh.
And I think world is too much, but
Yeah.
no other couple you think
Like no other couple
we would
that
do conventionally. Yeah.
You know, we do some real weird stuff, but not anything not anything that I would think other couples wouldn't, you know?
I think about this question a lot, actually, because I think about, for example, if we had met later in life and you were dating someone else in your 20s and then we happened to date, you know, after that, I almost wonder, like, does he call them baby too? No, I'm the first baby, right? Or does he say honey? Or do they have inside jokes that he uses now? I think about that sometimes.
Interesting.
Because, you know, some people are really
I think
unoriginal.
nicknames are different.
You think so?
Yeah, because baby and honey are two common words. You know? I'm not going to call anybody else Steven.
Don't share that nickname. I think about that though. I'm like, does he call anybody else Steven?
No, because you came up with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I'm weird kid.
You're fucking booger eating kid. That's what you are.
Wait! Hey!
What do you think is weird that we do that other people don't?
I don't know. I feel like we are very normal. Not
normal by a lot of standards.
Normal by a lot of standards. Who is funnier? Me.
What the? Hell no.
I'm funnier.
Funny looking.
Hey! I make you laugh so much. Yeah, I make you laugh so much.
Chihuahua.
Hey! Yeah.
All right, we've been on the last one for a while. Pick one more and then that's all we're doing.
Yeah. I like this one. What is the worst meal we've ever made together?
Together?
Yeah.
I could think of a few, but back in the day, I don't really remember the meals anymore, but those are some real struggle meals.
There's one that I remember.
Okay, what is it?
The kimchi jjigae we made in our first apartment.
Oh God.
I think that was.
We also just had too much.
There was just too much food, and I remember. I think we went to the Asian grocery store.
Yeah.
And it was fish sausage. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
They were so
that.
pink.
And it was sweet.
Yeah.
It was weirdly sweet.
Oh no! It made the whole soup sweet. It was so gross.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's all that we have for today. My name is Marcus.
And I'm Nina.
This is Pillow Talk. Share it with your friends. Hopefully you had some fun stories and experiences to share with us today, especially on those Reddit stories. Spooky, scary.
Spooky.
Peace.
Bye.